Are the Detroit Lions in serious trouble heading into this season? That's the question echoing through the NFC North after a stormy and frankly confusing offseason in the Motor City. The franchise that seemed to be finally shaking off decades of mediocrity, led by a tough, no-nonsense coach in Dan Campbell and a fiery, overachieving group of players, now suddenly looks shaky, like a team that was climbing the mountain, but might have slipped just as it neared the summit. Let's start with the news that shook the Lions locker room and made every fan across the division sit up and raise an eyebrow. Frank Ragnow, one of the best centers in the entire NFL, has retired. 29 years old, still in his prime, still with gas in the tank, but he's walking away. And the ripple effect of that decision is massive. Because Ragnow wasn't just a top-tier lineman, he was the anchor of one of the most consistent to physically dominant offensive lines in football. You don't just swap a guy like that out and keep rolling. It doesn't work that way in the NFL. Not at center, not with that kind of experience and leadership. And sure, insiders might have seen it coming. He wasn't at OTAs. There were whispers, but for the casual observer, for opposing fans, and even for most of the football media, this one came out of nowhere. And when you look at it in the bigger picture, it's not just about losing a great player. It's about the Lions losing stability, something they worked so hard to build over the past 3 seasons. Because what made Detroit so dangerous wasn't just talent, it was identity. Tough, gritty football, control the trenches, punch you in the mouth on both sides of the line. That was their calling card. That was Dan Campbell football. And it started up front. From left to right, that offensive line had been a fortress. Taylor Decker holding it down at left tackle. Jonah Jackson and Kevin Zeitler in the middle. Ragnow directing traffic at center. And Penei Sewell, maybe the best right tackle in the game today. It was a group that could impose its will on anybody. You knew if you were facing Detroit, you were going to get hit. A lot. Now, that identity's fading. Zeitler's gone. Ragnow's gone. And Glasgow, who's still there, had a rocky season last year. That interior has gone from a strength to a massive question mark. Decker is aging. Sewell's still elite. But you can't carry an entire line from the right side. What was once a sure thing is suddenly a roll of the dice. You've got Christian. Mahogany, solid college player, sure. But he hasn't taken a snap in the league. Then there's Tate Ratledge, another rookie. Talented, definitely. But asking him to step in and start at center in year 1, that's a huge leap. It's not just about snapping the ball. It's reading blitzes, setting protections, being the quarterback's eyes in the middle of chaos. And let's be real, Jared Goff isn't exactly Patrick Mahomes back there. He's solid, but he's a guy who thrives when the structure around him is pristine. You take away that clean pocket, things get dicey fast. So now the Lions are in a position where they're hoping one of these rookies can somehow replicate what Ragnow gave them. And let's not sugarcoat it, that's a dangerous game. You can't bank on a rookie to be 75% of a Pro Bowler right out of the gate, especially not a center. Especially not when the team's window to contend feels like it's right now. And if that wasn't enough, let's talk about the coaching staff. Remember, what made Detroit scary wasn't just the players. It was Ben Johnson calling the shots on offense. This guy was electric, creative, innovative, the kind of coordinator that could take an average quarterback and make him look like a star. And now he's gone. He's in Chicago, ready to cook with Caleb Williams. And the defense also took a hit. Aaron Glenn, say what you want about his up and down tenure as defensive coordinator, was Dan Campbell's right-hand man. The emotional leader of that unit. Gone, off to New York. And it's not just those two. Detroit lost 8 coaches total, including several key position coaches. Guys like J.T. Barrett and Antoine Randall, who had strong voices in that locker room. Gone. And let's not ignore what happened with the roster itself. It's not like they've done a stellar job of replacing what they lost. Ragnow, Zeitler, gone. Za'Darius Smith, released. Carlton Davis, signed with New England. Aiden Hutchinson, battling a serious injury. So when you look at the pieces they've added, it's not exactly impressive. A couple rookies on the interior. A cornerback in DJ Reed who might help, sure, but he's not moving the needle by himself. So now the Lions are staring at a season where the coaching staff is new. The offensive identity is in flux, the line is unstable, and the defense is riddled with question marks. That's not exactly the profile of a team ready to dominate the division again. And that leads us to the rest of the NFC North. Because while Detroit's been leaking oil, the Bears have been quietly building, upgrading, leveling up in ways that make you ask the question, why not them? Start with the trenches. The interior offensive line in Chicago has gone from a liability to a potential strength. Joe Thuney comes in and he's still playing at an elite level. Drew Dowman joins as center, a significant upgrade from what the Bears have trotted out over the last few years. Jonah Jackson at right guard adds both size and experience. That trio on paper is miles ahead of where they were a year ago. And what about coaching? Ben Johnson didn't just leave Detroit. He's the new man in charge in Chicago. And yes, he's never been a head coach before, but everything we've seen from him as an offensive coordinator suggests he's more than ready. The scheme is creative. The tempo is modern. The track record is real. And while Johnson focuses on getting Caleb Williams up to speed, the defense will be in the hands of Dennis Allen, a veteran defensive coordinator who's been around the block. That setup, it allows each side of the ball to be coached with focus, detail, and experience. Oh, and about those weapons. Let's not act like Chicago's lacking firepower. DJ Moore is still there. Zay Flowers and Luther Burden, both rookies, bring a level of explosiveness the Bears simply didn't have last season. And in the backfield, they've got depth. Not elite star power maybe, but enough balance to keep defenses honest. That's the kind of arsenal a young quarterback can grow with. And speaking of young quarterbacks, Caleb Williams doesn't have to be an MVP right away. But if he's even above average in year one, the Bears are going to be a serious problem. Because unlike Detroit, they're not replacing elite talent. They're improving over subpar performance. That means the bar to clear is much lower. That means the gains can be felt faster. Now, if we zoom out and look at the division as a whole, it's hard not to feel like it's up for grabs. Green Bay, they've got talent, sure, but Jordan Love didn't exactly set the world on fire. And when your head coach is publicly defending your quarterback's lack of progression, that's not a great sign. Minnesota, they've got a strong roster, but they're handing the keys to J.J. McCarthy. That's a massive leap of faith. And Detroit, as we've just detailed, might be unraveling at the seams. So why not Chicago? They've got a revamped offensive line, a modern, innovative coaching staff, a talented young quarterback, defensive upgrades, leadership continuity, momentum, and most importantly, they've got hunger. This team, this fan base, this organization, they're tired of being the punchline. They're ready to swing back. And in a division that suddenly looks more vulnerable than it has in years, they don't just have a chance. They might have the best chance. Because let's face it, the Lions overperformed last season. They were healthy. Their staff was intact. Their stars played well. Everything clicked, and they still didn't reach the Super Bowl. Now, all those things are gone, and they're asking a group of unproven replacements to keep the engine running at full speed. That rarely works in the NFL. You don't get better by accident. You don't stay on top by coasting. You don't win with hope. Right now, Detroit is hoping. Chicago? They're building. And in a league where windows close fast and opportunities don't wait around, that makes all the difference. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Chicago is buzzing with speculation after rumors surfaced that Lamar Jackson could be heading to the Windy City as the new quarterback of the Bears. While no official announcement has been made, several insiders and league sources have hinted at behind-the-scenes negotiations that might bring the former MVP to Chicago in what could be one of the most stunning moves of the offseason. The Bears, who have been seeking a dynamic leader under center, are reportedly thrilled by the mere possibility of adding a player of Jackson's caliber. Known for his electrifying dual-threat abilities, Lamar could potentially transform the Bears' offense overnight, injecting speed, creativity, and unpredictability into a unit that has struggled to find consistency in recent seasons. Social media lit up over the weekend as fans and analysts dissected every possible clue pointing to Jackson's potential arrival. Some reports suggest that key figures within the Bears organization have already been in contact with Jackson's camp, exploring the feasibility of a deal. Others point to cryptic social media posts by players and team staff as subtle confirmations that something big is brewing. While skepticism remains, as is always the case with high-profile rumors, the fit between Jackson and Chicago's evolving offense is undeniable. Head coach Matt Eberflus and offensive coordinator Shane Waldron have both expressed in past interviews their desire to modernize the Bears' attack, leaning into schemes that capitalize on mobility and improvisation at the quarterback position. Jackson, at just 28 years old, still has plenty of prime years ahead and could finally give Chicago the long-term answer at quarterback that the franchise has craved for decades. Adding fuel to the fire, sources close to Jackson have hinted that he is intrigued by the idea of leading a historic franchise in a major market with a passionate fan base hungry for success. The Bears, coming off a season of rebuilding and reshaping their roster, could see in Jackson a missing piece that propels them back into playoff contention. As of now, the Bears have neither confirmed nor denied the swirling rumors, maintaining a tight-lipped stance. But with the NFL landscape always prone to sudden seismic shifts, Chicago fans are left wondering, could Lamar Jackson truly be the next great Bear? For now, it remains a tantalizing possibility, one that has set the entire city abuzz with excitement and anticipation. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.